I normally just go to the YouTube and pull the stream on my phone just to make sure it works.
Test.
Tuesday, April 12th meeting of the City Council Public Works Committee to order. Roll call, please.
Alderman Michael Kane,
Here.
Brenda Brown,
Present.
Bob Iverson,
Here.
Jim Bouchard,
Present.
Carolyn Wands,
Present.
Heidi Wilson,
Present.
Chairman Mike Poor,
Present.
7 present.
Thank you very much. We do have a quorum. Item number 2 is the approval of the minutes. These will be from the March 8th, 2022 meeting. If there are no corrections, need a motion to approve, please.
So move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We also have the agenda, item number 3. There are no deletions from the agenda. We cannot add anything to the agenda, as everyone knows. So with that, need a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. No chairman's comments other than it's great to see everyone out at the parks and different things and everybody out working in the yards, walking, and hopefully spring is here. Although they're saying,
Not till
keep your
June.
fingers crossed. But anyway, it's nice to see everybody out and everybody having fun. Item number 6, approval of the payrolls. These would be
Excuse me,
from-
Chairman, we still need to do audience comments.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Number 4, I do have one. Reverend Frank McCullough regarding the 3 Kings of Peace Mentoring Center.
Okay. Sorry about that, Pastor. I forgot to, I skipped right over you.
That's just no way to change the public.
Thank
hearing,
you,
just telling me that.
to the chair and to the Public Works Committee. The Three Kings of Peace Mentoring Center, Mr. Butler is here as well. And our board is just coming to you again, thanking the entire council for allowing us to present our proposal for fundings for the mentoring center here in our city of Danville. And we just want you to know, the Public Works, that our architect, we met with him and he's going to move forward with the project. And we just want to make it a public record that we did come here and voice to this committee. And if there's any questions that you need from me at this time, we can try to answer those questions. And of course, all of you have seen our presentation early in the year that we have gave you a packet on that presentation and also our budget. So if there's any questions that you might have, we can try to answer those questions concerning our project. Yes, Ms. Brown.
Okay, you said that you're moving ahead with your project with the architect. So what are you saying?
Well, it has been questioned whether or not it was feasible to move forward with the project of what our budget had asked for. Been mentioned from the mayor that he thought it would be $2.5 million. And of course, that's, totally out of, whack with us. And we believe that what our contractors have said, according to the project, that we'll be able to get it up with what we voiced our budget on. Yeah.
Okay.
So what he's going to do, he was there today, and what he's going to do is going to get with Mr. Kronk, and he's going to get with Steve and present the figures to him as well.
Okay, so you're still saying that the city wanting us to accept your proposal, or the city's just going to, I'm not sure, I'm confused on this.
Reverend, I've been involved in this for probably what, 4 or 5 months.
Yes.
I think many of you have been, I know Alderman Bouchard, I think Alderman Wands, I believe Alderman Brown have been there to see what they're looking at and what they're proposing. I know the fire department has been there, the inspectors have been there, the different department heads have been there just to look at what is the feasibility. Pastor McCullough basically is just coming before each committee in the council as often as possible, just to say they are still pursuing this.
Okay. That's
Regardless,
what I wanted
They're not asking for a specific amount.
to know.
They are asking for some funds, perhaps from the 20-some million we received.
Okay.
But to date, there's been no committee set up to address the protocol on groups to, position or petition for funding. So
Mhm.
he's just been coming and asking questions and
Mhm.
keeping this out in the public's view. I
Right.
mean,
Okay,
And-
that
and-
that was what I was wanting to hear,
Right.
because I wasn't sure, because I know what had been in the newspaper, so I wasn't sure then if you still have your proposal with us, and that we still will be
Yes.
having it to vote on later, or whatever it's
What-
going to
what-
happen.
Yeah, what was in the newspaper? You saying?
About whatever was in the newspaper about the mayor rejecting your proposal.
Okay.
So that's why I was confused. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's another reason we're here as
Okay.
well. I believe that the mayor has his concerns. He is the mayor, but we also have an automatic form of government.
Mhm.
And I'm asking that automatic form of government give us due process, that whatever we present toward the city,
Okay.
it doesn't stop at the desk of the mayor.
Okay, that's
You
all I
know,
wanted to hear.
right.
Thank you.
That's,
And I think we're all in agreement with that, that once we have a subcommittee or whatever,
Right.
for these funds, we need to decide
Yes.
how to disperse those. And I think if corporate counsel, Simon, that's probably how we have to do that, right? Have a committee and a process for
Mm,
spending those funds?
Not necessarily.
I'm not sure. Are you talking about creating a separate committee?
No, I'm
to-
just saying, is there going to be
No.
some guidelines for, we've had several organizations come and basically give us what they'd like to do and if there's any funding available.
Well, obviously,
Yeah.
the ultimate decision on funding is here at the council. And we go through the normal process through the committee, appropriate committee to the council. But there's going to, obviously, before that, staff and with the mayor is going to have to develop a plan on distributing the money. And it's to my understanding, there are folks here in the city who have been talking about that already.
And I believe Doug Arns came at one of our meetings last month or something and basically said, is there going to be some mechanism or
That's what I'm talking
something in place to decide how funds are distributed? So
My question. Oh, go ahead,
Yes.
Bob. The state representatives had said they were going to get some money for this project too. Now that the state budget has been passed, do you know yet, like what kind of money you might be getting from the state?
well, again, they have stated that look like it's 295,000. I do not know exactly where that at, but I did speak with one of the legislatures the other day, and of course, it's a process and it's paperwork that need to be filled out. But they assured us that they would definitely would try to help anywhere they can, and that's all we're doing is asking the city as well to help us secure the finance so that we can move forward with our project. Again, I think anything that we can do for our young people, for what we see and what that's going on in our community, it would be a plus. I don't think you can, just boil down to maybe 1 or 2, 3 projects that's going on in our community. I just don't think we have enough. I'm told all the time that we have too many churches on the corner, but hey, we need churches, for the way our community is going. So it's the same thing here. I think our operation will be unique. I think you will not see one, maybe in the state of Illinois, like the project that we have.
Well,
And
I
we're
knew the
just hoping
state,
that you get behind it.
I knew the state budget just got finally passed this
Yes.
week, so I wondered if you had officially gotten any word yet, but they're probably still crossing the Ts and dotting the Is in the
Right.
budget. So.
Right.
And Rev. McCulloch, I believe you've got commitments from the state senator,
Mhm.
the state rep, county board, and others to help. And you're basically just touching all your bases possible
Yes, sir.
to receive funding.
Right. In fact, we would go before the county board on the third Tuesday. Is that right, Mr. Butler? On the third Tuesday, we will give them a presentation as well. And there's others that have asked us to come in as well. So,
Alderman Short.
Well, yeah, I think that's a wonderful idea and project that you're presenting. I guess my real main concern is let's just look forward and say it's up and running.
Mhm.
How financially are you going to be able to support that? I mean, are you going to come back to the city and be needing more money? Or are you going to be applying for grants? I mean, you are going to have workers, you got utilities, maintenance, so how will you project to cover that?
I don't believe we will come back to the city and ask for any more, but I know we will be looking for grants that's out there. We would have a restore that will generate funds to take care of utilities and things like that. So it'll be ongoing. But our budget, if you look at our budget, the income that we're looking for will help us sustain for at least 1 year. That will give us a year to look at getting other funding as well.
And Reverend McCullough, I believe you have applied for and received a 501c3 status.
Yes.
So anyone that would donate, it's tax deductible. So,
And we've been in contact with Mary Miller's office, and they're sure that we will get that. So.
Alderman Wands, do you have anything?
And let me say as well, if anyone that has not been into the building, again, we would ask that if you want to take a tour, you can just give us a call, myself or Mr. Buller, and we will meet you over there and give you a tour of the building. We think the building looked great. You know, there's a little work, of course. Anytime a building been down 7 years, it was used as a storage bin. But if you just go into it and look at it and see what can be created to at least entertain our young people throughout the year. So anyone that would like to see it, certainly.
And I think, if we want to spend some of this money for redoing the pool and different things, this is right there. It's right, Boys and Girls Club, the pool. If we're going to spend, I'm thinking, what are we saying, 16 million or something for the pool and redeveloping that area? It's going to be a nice fit, I think, but.
Yes, and we've talked with the Boys and Girls Club, some of the people that work there, Mr. Hinton. We've talked about, creating a partnership with them as well. So I think that would be a plus. Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you, Pastor.
Okay, we thank you. Appreciate your time.
See, I knew my chairman's comments and audience comments would tie in together.
That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 6, we have the approval of the payrolls. Those be from the April 8th run. Need a motion to put that on the table.
So moved.
Second.
Questions on payrolls? Okay, roll call, please.
Wait, Iverson.
Do you want me to go ahead? Alderman Iverson, Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. We do have item number 7, approval of vouchers payable. These be from April 12th, 2022. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Questions? Did everybody see the highlighted Department of Animal Regulation?
How'd you get that?
That
Why-
just came up.
Why are we collecting animals?
We don't collect animals. We pay the county to do it.
Are these like running
Dead
wild
animals.
animals,
Dead
deceased
animals in the road.
Okay, gotcha. And strays as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out how to respond to your first question.
Yours didn't come up like that, Mike?
I put it on there for my own personal use. I didn't put it on for everybody else.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
But I don't know how you got it on your
I
computer.
tapped your computer and had it move over here.
We appreciate that, Mike, because mine's lit too.
But something happened with the, okay.
Yeah, because on page 205, it's highlighted Department of Animal Regulation, Animal Collection for January and
Mine's highlighted.
February, $14,060.78.
Yeah. One little, I had a constituent call me about dog problems. His dogs were getting into his backyard and going after his dog. And he was told by the city that he has to take care of that problem and he has to call the county. And I just didn't know whose actual responsibility that was.
We would direct them to the county if they have an issue that needs resolved.
Well,
We don't liaison between
well,
the
that's,
city and the county.
I know, but that's public safety for the individual stepping in between two dogs. And the county doesn't show up for this stuff on a timely basis. And it's a concern. I don't know what the laws are or anything else. So that's why I had it highlighted, but I didn't know everybody else would get it highlighted.
As far as liaisoning individuals to the county, it's just usually best because if the county has questions, then we would be calling each other back. However, as far as advising a citizen to step in between their dogs, if you have the citizens' information on who they talk to, when, what time, you can email that to me directly and we could look into that because I don't think we as a
Well,
city would advise someone.
It was over the weekend and there was nobody to call.
No, they don't respond.
Well, that's probably an indication it probably was not the city because we're not here on the weekends, so.
Well, but there's still a dog problem on weekends.
In a dangerous situation like that, couldn't you call the police?
They don't answer the phone on weekends.
No, but you can call 911.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
a dangerous situation, call the
Okay.
police.
Police will come and
Okay,
if they have to.
that's all.
But we pay almost 100,000 a year to the county
Yeah.
for this service. I don't remember what we used to pay the Humane Society back in the day for.
I just didn't know what service we got with it besides picking up
Do you
animals.
remember what we used to pay the Humane Society?
It was enough to keep her supplied with cigarettes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that's a lot of money.
That's old.
If you want me to look it up, Chairman, I can.
Well, I mean, it'd be nice to know, I mean, just
Okay.
for future reference, but I mean, I know we're saving, even though we're spending almost 100 grand, our cost for gas, staff, different things at the Humane Society was much larger.
Our
Yeah.
contract, I'm sure, would outline what specific services they provide for us as well. We could send that agreement at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions? Thank you, Mike, for highlighting that. Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Pashard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes,
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Four,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. Moving on to item number 8, we have Comptroller Massey with 8A, a resolution authorizing a budget amendment in the Finance 011 account for the as of our hotel motel tax contingency payment. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So move.
Second.
Do we want to take A and B together or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can, sure. Is there a motion second agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Comptroller?
I'm back again with a request for a budget amendment regarding as of our contingency payments. This is probably the 8th, 9th request to amend the budget for as of our. You'll remember about a year and a half ago, we contracted with as of our to do some revenue analysis. And part of that agreement is they would receive contingency payments, so 45% of any additional revenue that they identified for a period of 36 months. So every quarter, about under different categories, they'll reach out to us, ask how much additional revenue have we collected. We report that to them, and then in turn send us an invoice for 45% of that. So attached in your packet is one for additional hotel motel revenue, and then a separate resolution for additional sales tax revenue. I have the invoice for the hotel motel revenue already, but I know what the invoice is gonna be when I report it to them, even before they send it to me. So I went ahead and just included sales tax in, so it's ready to go once that invoice arrives.
Alderman, okay.
how successful are we collecting that money from the individual businesses? 100% or?
Yeah, so usually the hotel motel you'll remember we amended the resolution to close a loophole for short-term online rental companies and online travel companies. So we weren't collecting from them previously. They're paying us now that we have that agreement with them. And then sales tax, the issue they identified for most of them is that they were attributed to basically a different location. They were not being included on our municipality's taxing list. So they were going either to the county or maybe a neighboring municipality. So if that flows through the state, they were reporting sales tax. It was just being misapplied. So that's the issue with those. So yeah, very successful. The attachment to both resolutions is in the packet, and it'll show you since the beginning of our project with Azabar, all additional revenue identified, what we've paid Azabar, and what we've been able to retain. So total, due to the things Azabar has audited, we've gained an additional $138,908 in revenue. $62,508 has gone to Azabar, and we've been able to retain $76,399. Of course, after the 36 months of payment, we'll retain 100% of that additional revenue, and we don't have to put any staff time or consulting fees towards identifying this revenue.
Vice Chairman?
That's it.
All right, thank you very much. Roll call, please, on A and B.
Alderman Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Four,
Yes.
7 yes.
Comptroller, any items of information? Have a cold and
Yeah, I think it's allergies.
okay, moving on to item number 9, Public Transportation, Director Beast. 9A is a resolution authorizing an application for a capital assistance grant for a paratransit vehicle under the Illinois Department of Transportation's general authority to make such grants. Need a motion to put that on the table.
So moved.
Second.
Director?
I could probably win a contest for having the longest resolution
That's pretty
titles
long.
right now. They tell us what to
At
say.
least you went all the same letters in a row.
So this is a program that the state has not had in place for a while, but now that they have some money flowing again, the CVP program is for a joint procurement for the whole state. So we have our 5 small buses that we use for our Danville-Champaign service and for some of the lower utilized routes in town. And 4 of those 5 vehicles have reached their mileage for their useful life. So they're in fair condition, but they have reached the mileage. So we thought, well, you know what, let's jump on this and give it a shot. I'm not certain how successful we'll be at getting these new vehicles this year, but they did say, if you don't get them this year, they'll have the same program again next year. So, we could probably go for one more year, but hey, let's give it give it a shot.
Go for it.
Yes, right.
Questions on the resolution? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands.
Yes.
Four,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. Moving on to 9B, items of information. We do have the monthly report. Are there questions on the monthly report? Director, anything on?
Just still looking for employees, as you can see on my report. And we've got some other things going on that we'll probably bring next month and have more information about. But we've been working with chairman and corporation counsel. We're going to iron out some things with the Chris Rural Mass Transit now that we're a rural designated area as rural. We have to come to some kind of an agreement about the service because they have 2 services now in Vermilion County, them and us. But we work in town, they work out in the county. So, but it all has to be in writing and has to be formalized. So we're
So
getting
there'll
ready
be
to
an
do that.
intergovernmental agreement
Mhm.
basically coming back to this committee and then full council to basically one rural transit. So. Okay, thank you, Director.
Mhm.
Moving on to item number 10, Public Works Director Carpenter. We have 10A, an ordinance approving the acceptance of a right-of-way at the intersection of Lakeside and Sherrill Drives. Need a motion to put that on the table, please?
So moved.
Second.
That's same.
I was trying to remember which one this is. I've got so many of them going on. So we're actually working on a pump station project over on Lakeside Drive, one of our 30 pump stations. Basically, we need to obtain right of way to relocate a water main and kind of round off the edge of a curve there. So we've worked out a deal with the O'Shaughnessy's, which are the landowner there, to acquire that right of way, and that's what you have before you. So.
So that's right by Pat's.
Yeah, it's on the inside. There's like an interior lot there. Out, if there's a little loop that goes around there. It's actually on the inside corner there,
Okay.
across from the pump station.
Sam,
Yes.
on the corner of Eastview and Crestview there in Holiday Hills, we've got some cones out right on the corner there. Did someone just cut the corner a little short, or is there a water leak there? I've seen a little bit of standing water yet.
Yeah, there's no water leak. It actually got turned in by a resident of just the road being kind of low in that area.
Yeah.
And it's been too wet to Durapatch, but the plan is to just go and get that hole filled in with patch and then Durapatch it. It's just been a little too wet to do so far.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I have a question for Sam. Exactly know where Lakeside and Sherrill meets. I'm not sure.
So if you basically, let me describe this. Go down west, well, it'd be Liberty Lane, west of
And then
Vermilion,
Sherrill is-
and then Sherrill kind of comes off to the side and curves around. It's actually, so if you go all the way down to the end before it becomes a private road, hang a right. Lakeside is like,
By Fagan's.
yeah, it's one of those little,
Where Lakeside is that?
yeah,
North of Fagan's, you
Okay,
turn
oh,
it
no,
out.
I know, I got,
Yeah.
okay. I'm with
it's
you now.
actually like a little side street because Sherrill Drive curves and then turns in, well, no, it doesn't curve, but
I'm with you now.
Sherrill Drive, if you took Sherrill Drive all the way back to the west, right, basically where it stops in its intersection with Lakeside, that's where you would be there.
I'm with you now.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get it in my head, so that's all. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call on 10A, please.
Vice Chairman O'Kane,
Yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. Okay, when I first read 10B, I thought it said swampland, but
Land swap. You could be right.
rescinding the land swap for 519 and 614 West William Street and modifying consideration for the purchase of 519 West William Street. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So move.
Second.
Lisa, I think that was longer.
Yeah, we need a word count on that to see if Lisa or I have the longer one. So for the West Williams realignment project, you'll remember we've been going through land acquisition process on several parcels. As we've gone through the project, one of the owners requested that they didn't want to just sell; they wanted to do a land swap. So we were going to, if we accepted ownership of their lot, and we're going to basically transfer ownership of another lot owned by the city to them. We've since decided through that project that it's best that we hold on to that lot. So we've negotiated a price, which anyway, that was what we were attempting to do early on, but it's been a long roundabout way of getting to here. But anyway, they've accepted $10,000 in consideration for that lot. So before you today, that's what our recommendation is, to rescind the land swap and pay them $10,000 to not do the land swap, basically. But we would still obtain the lot that we wanted to originally.
So the 614 West Williams is what we currently own and will remain in ownership of.
That's correct. Yeah. And 519 is the one that we obtained ownership of. So
Other questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. 10C is a resolution rejecting bid 691 for a homelessness project. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So move.
Second.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Okay.
This is going to be the second time that you've seen this. This is the second bid. It's a CDBG project for the Danville Rescue Mission. As Danny was in here speaking to the other night, we had a great turnout, and this is for the replacement of their what works in a few rooms, baseboard heat in the rooms. That's all they have, and most rooms don't actually function. They're using little plug-in heaters for most of the rooms. So we bid the project out for mini split units in each of the room, and that was going to require an extensive electrical upgrade. That's what we learned along the way from the contractors. So we had a really good turnout for the bid, but only one contractor actually submitted their bid on time. And as per our HUD guidelines for procurement, we have to have at least 2 bids for small construction projects such as this. So that's one reason. And number 2, we learned a lot. It's a very expensive project. So we're really going to have to get creative to make this project work, but we're going to get there eventually.
How soon can you get back to it?
I have to get a hold of Danny first. And hopefully we can get back to it within the next couple of months. That's the plan.
Or next winter?
Yeah, hopefully a couple of ideas. Yes, correct. And air. They have units. Window units, AC units in each of the rooms. So this is really going to be a good benefit for the homeless residents of Danville.
So could you get bids from just an electrical contractor, run conduit on the outside to the specific rooms, what the service required, and then it's something else from a heating, cooling person for?
Yeah. So what it ended up turning out to be was we put the bids out to mechanical contractors, and the electrical contractors would have been the subs to this project. It turns out that 3 boards would have had to been replaced as a part of this, which got extremely expensive for the project. And I think we're going to need some sort of matching funds for this project to make it work. And that's where we'll get creative.
They got some pretty neat heating, cooling units now. That
Yeah.
are very efficient, sit in the window and you can heat and cool with the same unit.
The intent, the bid was we were going to make their rooms very high tech and comfy.
So you'll be coming back to us on this.
Yes.
hopefully sooner.
I hope. Yeah.
Sooner than later, I hope.
Yeah. We'll make it work. Yeah.
So the old boiler and stuff they had in there is probably shot.
Oh,
a
no,
long
that's
time
been
ago.
gone.
Yeah.
It's still down there.
So, and forced air, of course, is
Yeah.
cost prohibitive, and so the little units you can stick in windows. in.
Yeah. We need to get them up to energy code standards for sure.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
4,
Yes,
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. Okay, 10D is a resolution authorizing an application to DCO's RISE Local and Regional Planning Grant Program. Need a motion to put that on the table.
So move.
Second.
Logan?
Yeah, so this is from the same pot of money as the CARES funds that the city has received. It's just a different type. And it's unique in the way that it's for regional or local plans, but we've gotten tips that to focus on one corridor is going to be the best strategy. So as you can see in your ordinance, we have, if with your approval, recommend to do a downtown revitalization and connectivity plan. And this just isn't for blighted or failing corridors. It's going to be scored based on COVID impact. So we have to tie that into this. And it's unique in the way of if awarded these funds, the plan will be utilized and used as a step ladder to other DCEO grant funding opportunities. So this plan is going to show how we would spend for COVID relief and then apply for those funds in future DCEO grants that we don't know what they are. But this grant fund is up to $70,000, and that's what we're going to write for.
Questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
4,
Yes,
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. 10E is a resolution approving the purchase of 2 pickup trucks. Need a motion to put that on the table, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, this will be 2 units to replace some of the older former police squad units that we actually run. They both have in excess of 100,000 miles and are getting worn out. These will be put into the Community Development Division. Sam actually has an Engineer 3 now, as you're aware. He's got another, I believe, Engineer 1 coming on. And Logan is making a job offer to a planner. So we will still be using one older car that still has some use left in it as well. But this price is for 2 units, and the National Auto Fleet Group is who is represented through the Sourcewell contract.
So
I think that's something,
So the new guys get.
when
the
we
old
go
cars?
buy, we buy through a larger conglomerate and
This is
Yeah.
once again, this is a cooperative.
Yeah.
And you'll see we have another one coming up for other vehicles, but we are going through every source we can now to try to even get vehicles. Most of these are 2 years out to even try to get anything now. That's because if you've gone to a new lot, you know that new vehicles are few and far between. These are the last 2 this company even has available. The anticipated delivery date would be July for these. From that, it's sometime next year.
Okay, seeing no other questions, roll call.
Alderman Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands. Already called on you. 4,
Want to vote again?
7 yes. I'm sorry.
Carolyn votes yes twice.
Thank you.
Your vote counts.
Okay, 7 yes, thank you very much. 10F is a resolution awarding a contract for the construction of bid 692, the 2022 sanitary sewer rehab, and amending the fiscal year 2021-22 storm and sanitary sewer fund 402 budget. Need a motion to put that on the table.
So move.
Second.
That was a pretty long one
That
too.
was
and
probably
I think
the
the next one's gonna take, the next one will be the longest.
So this project is one we started design of this probably 1.5 years or 2 years ago, primarily in the Jackson and Voorhees area and to the north and slightly south of that. We will be doing lining on, I can't remember the exact footage, about 6,000 or 7,000 feet of sanitary sewer and approximately 50 manholes, plus a lot of point repairs where we have to dig up in backyards or in the road to fix failed locations. The bids, we had 2 bidders. The bids actually did come in over estimate.
Get one bidder.
Yeah. All right. We had 1 bidder and one that was really hoping that nobody else would bid it, I think is the idea. It was a little bit higher than our estimate, which is kind of the trend right now, as you all know, with everything, inflation of everything. We don't see that necessarily changing anytime in the near future. So we still are suggesting that we move forward with the project. I think one of the factors is, honestly, I mean, it's a good problem to have. Our local contractors are extremely busy, and they're, actually they're not even bidding some of our work because they're so backlogged. So, with that good comes the challenge of the price changes, the price increases and stuff like that. So hopefully we continue to, I don't know, it feels weird saying that, but I guess if we continue to have that problem, it means that things are going well. So
It's scary, the prices.
it is very scary.
If they're that busy, when might this project start?
Well, so what we anticipate, I mean, it's not going to start for a couple months. And then the completion date is end of March of 2023. So they would actually be, there's various phases of this. There's the preparation phase, the lining phase, the manholes, and there's a lot of different subcontractors through there. So likely in the summertime, you'll see contractors coming in this area to do excavation work, to do the repairs, followed by lining contractors, followed by manhole lining contractors, and then the various cleanup and restoration items. So,
You got the babysitters to watch all this kind of work?
well, that's not necessarily. This is going to be a unique year in that we have, as you've seen, there's a lot going on, and we're going to have to really work hard to maintain a solid relationship with our contractors because we're not going to be able to watch every single thing they do. That's definitely not going to be the case. So
This list, that's for sure.
yeah. And it's only, next, I believe next Public Works, I expect to bring 7 bids to council for award, assuming we get bids on all of them. So anyway, it's going to be a busy year. And if hopefully that's like that every year, but
You can just close off Jackson from where he's back.
hey, I'm not saying that. You said it.
Phil's got that. He's on the air now. Tell
Bill Becker laughing.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. 10G is a resolution approving a professional services agreement preliminary engineering phase 1 for the pedestrian path extension along Voorhees, Bowman, and Michigan Streets and amending the fiscal year 2021-2022 East Voorhees TIF Fund 117 budget.
Eat your heart
That's
out.
why.
Need a motion for that on the table.
So moved.
Second. So are we paying Sam by the word?
No, I actually consulted with Jim on that one. No.
We do charge by the word.
Do you, by the word?
And for engineers, it's by the page. So, or the sheet, as we call it in plan sets. So,
So I guess, did we get a motion in a second?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so,
all right. So this project, we actually applied for an Itep grant, which is an Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program grant, approximately a year and a half ago. If you recall, it was basically looking to do wide sidewalk construction from, what would it be, by the Dollar General there on Bowman up to Voorhees Street out east to Michigan Avenue. We did not receive that grant. And the feedback basically was that we had, a great application. It's a very eligible project, but we did not receive funding because we're not as far along in the process as what they would like us to be. So this is taking the next step and hiring a consulting firm to start the preliminary design, do the environmental studies that are required, and start to work towards the land acquisition pieces that are needed. And it's all located within the East Voorhees Street TIF. So that's a nice little project. We view this, as one of the unique things we learned in putting this project together is that there are, well, we already know this, but there's an enormous amount of jobs out in this area, and there is not good connectivity to any of that area unless you drive a car. So this helps put a lot of people with, and I guess bus service too, Lisa. I don't mean to throw that out. Yes. So great bus connectivity. But anyway, we want to provide alternate modes of transportation and help those industries compete and fill jobs for people with all modes of transportation. So,
Sam, is that sidewalks going to be wide like the one from East Crestview going north toward out of town?
yes, it would be. We're
On which side
tentatively.
of the street will it be on also?
So it would, on the Bowman Avenue section, it would be on the west side
Okay.
up to Voorhees, and then we would cross Voorhees, stay on, if by Public Works, it's on the north side. We would likely be on the north side of Voorhees Street down to Griffin Street. And then east of Griffin, we would likely be on the south side of the road out to Michigan Avenue. So, and pretty much the utilities and just the topography and drainage issues kind of dictate that. So that's it's possible that changes during design, but it's likely that that's going to be where it's going to be.
When could that possibly be started?
So we are going to, at this point, we're doing like what we consider phase 1 engineering with this grant. It's hard to believe that this is just the first phase of engineering. But basically it's how big is it? Where can it go? We're not going to arrive at final plans. We would anticipate reapplying for ITEP funding for construction. The estimated construction cost was around $2 million when we applied last time. So that's probably going to be higher. So if we were awarded that grant, it's likely going to be a couple year process to get through that, but we'd be hopeful that we would be highly eligible for funding and receive it. And then, I'd say at least another year. In a perfect world, we receive funding in 2023, takes another year to do the design and probably another year to construct. So you're probably finishing building in 2025.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing goes fast in this game.
Not.
So
Will that actually, Lisa, will that add some additional bus stops going out that way for the workers?
The bus stops that we have, and Sam and I have talked about this, along Voorhees Street are on the north side of Voorhees because the bus is coming
Yeah.
back into town. So they'll have to be some consideration, for that.
And
Is there anything in the future about these, at the bus stops, these little units that people can get in for shelter?
Those are highly expensive, and there's a lot of engineering involved in that too. We donated the shelter out to Flexengate.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it was very costly. They took care of it. So that's why we
Really?
said you can have the shelter if you will take care of it. But, there's ADA compliance and just lots of things to consider. So, that's something we could probably put in a grant for, but the study that we did, oh gosh, it's been years and years ago, about where the most likely places for bus stop shelters would be. And that's probably all changed so much that we'd probably have to do some other type of a study to find out where the most likely places would be.
I would think there would be a need for some in that area, especially after things would progress and get a little bit hot, so to speak, out on Lynch Road. So I figured there'd be a need eventually for something like that if we could swing it. Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Alderman.
Do you have any idea, Sam, if has there been a study to guess how many people would use this? I mean, that's a lot of money, and we really don't know
right.
how much is going to be used.
Let me just tell you, Alderman Iverson, the first thing you need to do is go down Voorhees about 5 o'clock in the morning and stay there till about 7 o'clock in the morning. And you'll see how many people are walking or riding bicycles in the middle, the turn lane of the Voorhees. And one life, we all know, is far more important than whatever it costs to keep them out of the street and on the sidewalk.
Yeah. And it's very hard to project exact numbers because you don't know how habits will change when the resources are there. And you also don't know, we have projections, but it's hard to do that. More or less, I think this type of thing is it's a competitive amenity. It helps make working at those businesses easier. It helps make our community more desirable. Because, from a fitness standpoint, from a just getting out and walking with your kids or physically getting to work. So, that's one of those reasons why it's a great grant project. There's a lot of grant funds at these right now, but it would be difficult for us to pony up $2 million, ourselves to do that when you've got other needs out there. So that's why we're really approaching this from how do we make ourselves as competitive at the grant game as possible on this.
I was going to add to that. We did bounce several projects around, but whenever we looked at the demographics and the scoring criteria of the grant application, this project blew all the rest of them out of the water. This is more of a get to work grant instead of a recreational grant application.
Yes.
Questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman O'Kane,
Yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. 10H is a resolution to approve the purchase of a light-duty operations truck. Need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I think this is what I mentioned about the earlier one, because they didn't have a third truck that we could purchase. It's been determined that we do need another truck in the operations group to be used. And then we can use one of the older trucks and move it into the parks department so that they can clean the parks and maintain the parks and mow the parks, okay? Therefore, we didn't know exactly what might be available and how much we'd need to spend, and this is quite similar to what Chief Yates brought to you earlier, or late last year, where he's asking for a specific amount of money and not to exceed that amount of money so that we would have money to purchase a truck. We've got two bids listed on here. Dave, I believe, got the third bid yesterday morning. Too late to get it on here. As you see, both of these are in the $28,000 range. What was the other one from Courtesy?
The courtesy one was up around 30, 35 and some change.
So as you see, if we can get appropriated $35,000, then we're not done looking yet. I actually looked on the GSA contract today and was pleasantly shocked, but all they had available for vehicles were Range Rovers and Land Rovers, and I didn't think it'd look appropriate for Dave to be driving around in a Range Rover. So anyway,
So the engineers.
we feel that this is the most prudent way to spend the money, is to get it appropriated so that we can have no more than that amount to spend. We know that if I can find another cooperative out there somewhere that might have another Ford F-150, it's going to be in that $32,000 range, which would allow us to buy that. If not, then we'll end up sticking with these are smaller. These are both a Ranger and a Colorado instead of an F-150 or a 1500 in a Chevy. So that's what we're asking you to do, is approve the $35,000 to appropriate another truck.
And would that be a truck and then a separate utility bed to put on it? Or
No.
all
This
as
would be a
one?
pickup truck.
It'd become all as one with
Yep.
utility bed and everything. Okay.
Yep.
Pretty cheap.
Unless he decided to get the Land Rover.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
How much was that?
it was only like $44,000, which is just,
Wow.
that's why I said I was pleasantly surprised. But
Yeah.
we can't buy it at that price. But
No.
it's
I mean,
nice to know that congressmen can
reasonable
ride
for
around in
that.
Range Rovers for $44,000.
Boy, you get an evil eye.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yeah.
4,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you.
Just the paint.
10 items of
Maybe
information.
Four wheels.
I think the only thing I got is everybody's well aware that we're into the yard waste season now. We're picking up both bags and toters. Next month, 1st of May, we'll go to toters only, but it will be for the entire collection day. So it's moving along real well. As I mentioned to you earlier, some of you weren't here, Alderman Pritchard is Public Works favorite new favorite alderman because he brought donuts in this morning. So we're not above donuts. When it gets warmer, if you want to bring ice cream in, the guys and gals like that too. All right. But they do appreciate all you guys are doing though to work with us as well. They do express that quite often.
Well, I think everyone appreciates what all the city workers do, no matter what department they're in.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
In all departments, but I'd like to comment again on my friend over there, Mr. Carl Carpenter. No, because I do bug him different times, but this last time you did call back, and I hadn't had a chance to call you back, but the lady that I spoke with at that address, she was so grateful because she drives in and out of there to get to her garage. She's an older lady, and she said, well, I'd hate to get stuck because of all the holes back there, but that city, they're doing a wonderful job. So I said, well, I will relay that. So thank you again.
Well, thank you.
Director Carpenter.
Reminder of that when 20% of the city streets are closed on the same day.
Yeah.
I hope not. We're kind of contractor's mercy when we get going on that stuff. I did want to mention, I was supposed to have this on the agenda last week and completely forgot. But part of our process obtaining federal funds for bridges, as you know, we've received federal funds or the allocation of federal funds for one of the bridges on East Voorhees Street. East Voorhees over Lick Creek, which is just east of Michigan Avenue. We have applied for funding on East Voorhees over the East Fork of Lick Creek, which is out closer to ThyssenKrupp and the curve there. We have to, part of what we have to do is take public comment on these, let people know, what we're intending to do. Basically, we're proposing to replace both of those bridges roughly in kind with some modernization. But at the next meeting, I will have an item on the agenda for related to public comment on those bridges and just a very brief overview of what we're going to do there. And I know it will be a busy meeting, so I'll try to keep it short as best as I can. So
Bring the donuts.
yeah, bring the donuts. Yeah.
One word resolution.
Yes. No resolution needed on that one. So
Alderman Pickering.
Yeah.
Alderman Pickering.
Yes.
Tear it up. Connected. Alderman Pickering.
No.
No.
You can hear me. I just wanted to know about the letters for the rules for the toters. Have they all been sent out yet?
Yes, they were. What we received back in excess of 1,000 of them. Yeah, but
They were sent though.
yeah, they were all sent well over a month ago. And I don't, certain areas, people, you can tell, read the letter. A lot of the containers are back up. But unfortunately, in our wards, there still is an issue. But I have sent, when we've gotten something over the reported app, or when I see something or my guys or gals do, I report it to Jim and Rick and the gang. And they've always gone right out there and either tagged them or actually knocked on the door and have had pretty good, from what I understand, pretty good reception from people adhering to what they're told to do now. So
So we are enforcing the letter.
yes, yeah.
Thank you.
We are still at least 2 months out of containers though. We have none. We're salvaging anything used we can so that if we break one or something falls in the truck, then we bring them a used one until the new ones can come in. But they're gone. They're all sold out. They're all used. They're finished. June or July, hopefully June when we get them.
Thank you.
And then I guess I need to just tell everybody now too, next Monday, Dave and I will be doing a final walkthrough of the Public Works facility with Ameren because their lease expires Monday, the 18th. Currently, they're completely out of the buildings. They have some utility poles, some transformers. I think that's about it. Couple trucks, but they'll all be out of there. So I'll be getting with you, Alderman Purr. We need to discuss some options with that building. And I know the mayor at one time, we did a study on
I have a city hall.
moving City Hall there. So I'm sure in the next few months, you'll be getting more.
What's going on with the service building farther, what is that, northeast of the main building?
Where their actual service was.
Yeah.
Nothing in the immediate future. We will be storing some of the 1,000
Moved out of that
containers.
too, though.
Yeah, they're completely out of there. And then we've got to discuss internally what we're actually going to do with that building as well. And then I don't know if you guys have been informed, but I think it's worth mentioning Jeff Nicholson, who's been the police mechanic for about 44 years, is going to retire at the end of May. The police department has ads out for new mechanics. They've asked me to sit in on that interview with them because neither the chief or Josh Campbell have ever had to hire anyone in that field. So I will be doing that. And I think, well, I know she did. Kathy sent me an email. I didn't get it all read before I left tonight, but they actually had somebody from the insurance company go over and take a look at that building. They will be in discussions with the building commission on getting their vehicle maintenance building updated and possibly an addition put on it so that it can be up to code because it currently is not. And there are some safety issues with the mechanic in that building. All right.
Okay.
Any questions? More questions? Thank you, Director. Anybody else? Okay, item number 11, closed session. There is no need for closed session. Item 12, items of information. I'm sure all you remember or know the groundbreaking for the Golden Nugget Casino is 2 p.m. on next Tuesday. So if you responded to the email and the invitation, they sent you the directions on what to do
Mhm.
and where to meet and things to be shuttled there. So yeah, you have to, then
I
she'll
know,
send you the directions, and I'm not gonna say publicly
Right.
where you meet and everything, but there'll be a shuttle provided and different things, so. That'll be 2 p.m. on the 19th, so it'll be a good thing. Alderman Bashar.
I've been asked by a few people that want to know if the public could attend that. I told them I didn't really know because of the way it's set up. It's
No,
not much space out there to be.
no, and it's all gonna be shuttled. People are gonna be shuttled there, the ones that receive the invitations. They will be coming that evening as well to the city council meeting, giving a presentation after the groundbreaking and things, so. The Wilmot family will be here and people from the Golden Nugget will be here and different things. I think they're trying to keep it as, locate, not really low, but I mean, to accommodate the people need to be accommodated, and then people are more than welcome to come and see the presentation on that evening at 6 here in City Hall.
Glad you brought that up. Someone asked me today about that. They understood that it was only it was going to be partially built, and then later on there was going to be another phase. And I told them no. I said I'll check, but that was
Right now, okay, this is the first phase. Okay, they're going to put in the steakhouse. They're going to completely remodel what's there, build the steakhouse. As certain benchmarks are met, then they will plan on building a brand new facility.
That's later
At
on.
different locations,
At different
across,
locations. Right.
basically, but for right now, they're going to utilize, get up and running within
Okay.
basically a year. Hopefully, March of next year, they'll be up and running. But then as certain revenue streams are met, then they'll build a new location, but still keep that one as well with the steakhouses, and also use it for training, for testing machines, different things. So
I kind of explained. I said that, there will be an addition, but that's later on. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like they're only they didn't realize that the steakhouse and all, they thought it was just going to be just a casino period.
no,
and
there's
told
two
no, I think-
restaurants and
right.
different lounges and things in it as well. So
Okay.
it's going to be
Mhm.
there'll be a great big improvement to that area. So, okay. Anyone else? Having satisfied the agenda, item number 14, I need a motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Get your snow shovels back out.
Yeah, I know.
I
I don't think it's so much.